Freedom is something that is a natural right of anybody around the world. And freedom is something that people have to work for to get freedom. But once you have freedom and you're in a place with people that wish to be governed in a like fashion, that's when you start going for liberty. And in the United States, what we have is liberty. And we can argue, though, whether our liberty, which is such a fragile thing, liberty is like carrying around, like when we were in high school and you had the class where you and some girl were given an egg, and you were taught that that egg would be your kid, and so you had to take care of this kid for a week, and it was a raw egg, and so most of these teens that we would end up breaking the egg, Well, that's really what liberty is. It's a fragile, fragile thing that we have to take care of. And so I wanted to write a song that kind of goes into this, about freedom and liberty. And hopefully you're going to see the lyrics on the chat line, because I asked Tony and Gigi to see if they could put those up. Just a thing to do for the first time. And we're going to pull up the iPad and pull up the song Freedom. So how are we looking there, Annie? Can we get that iPad fired up? This is that right there. And free for the taking. We can only have liberty with freedom. Wanting to be free, freedom. We'll never be free, freedom. We are way openly, freedom. on the 4 freedoms. And Sandeep, do you know what the 4 freedoms are?
I do not.
Yeah, well, the 4 freedoms is what was brought out by Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1936, so before World War II. And what he talked about is he said that in the world, everybody who wants freedom, there are 4 basic freedoms that people want. Freedom from want, and it's freedom from fear, freedom to express yourself, in other words, political and also socially speaking, freedom of speech. And the 4th one was freedom to pray, freedom to practice your religion, the 4 freedoms. And Roosevelt was the first one to define it, the darkening clouds of World War II. And so what that last song, we're talking about freedom from those wanting to be free, freedom from those who fear they'll never be free, freedom to pray our way openly. So I'm combining the 2, and then freedom. So that's a little bit about freedom. And freedom's so different from liberty. And you can have countries in the world that say, oh yeah, we got freedom. Sure, we got freedom. But do they have liberty? Do they have the idea that we can all come together and we can work as a society with freedom, but also a guaranteed right to exercise that freedom? That's the big difference. And that's the difference between democracies and countries that wish they were democracies. And so not to get overly preachy or political, but the important thing is that just this week we saw what tamping liberty down is all about. When you see what's happening in Hong Kong, liberty is being taken away, and because liberty is crushed, there goes their freedom. That's a good example. Also, our good friend Vladimir Putin, what did he do? He just elected himself to 2036. He's going to be, like Grandpa Simpson, and still in office. But the truth is it's taking away the liberties of the Russians. And so, no liberty, no freedom. You can have freedom, you can have limited freedom, but you don't have liberty. So that's the big difference. And from freedom, with liberty, you get independence. And those are the big 3 that makes the United States. Even though we're in rough and rocky times right now. And, that's because liberty is such a fragile thing. And that's what we're talking about today. Like I said, I didn't know if we could really get through the show talking about all this stuff, but I think we are. So just remember, you have your freedom, but your liberty is what you fight and die for. And independence is the blessing of having both. Well, let's bring in the beautiful Anya McCormack. Can you come in? All right. Here, we'll move this aside. And I'm going to put on my hat. You got a new microphone. What do you think? Try it.
Cool.
Can you say hi to everybody here?
Hi.
All right. And Anya, you look great. You're dressed up for Independence Day, right? Yeah. And do you have a couple jokes you would like to tell us?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the joke? Let's hear it.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
You.
You who?
You, it's me. Can I come in?
Did you make that one up?
No.
Okay. Give me another one.
Knock knock.
Who is there?
Les.
Les who?
Let's tell some more knock knock jokes.
All right. That's a good one. I like that. What's your next? Do you have one more?
Yeah. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Summer.
Summer who?
Summer, these jokes are funny, but some are not.
That's pretty good. Can you want to try one more joke? The one your Uncle Joe? Uncle Joe McCormack sent in one.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Why do fish swim in salt water?
I don't know.
Because if they swim in pepper water, they would sneeze too much.
shaker up there by the couch, and I'm going to talk about the next song. This is one of my favorite songs, and I didn't write it. So this is, I think, the first time we're actually doing a cover. Well, besides when we were up in Canada, you know, we did "Oh Canada" and "America the Beautiful" medley, and Sandeep was weeping openly. Yes. But this is the song "Yankee Doodle Dandy," and "Yankee Doodle Dandy" is such a great song. The history behind it, people, when they sing it, they don't know what they're singing about, you know. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat, and called it macaroni. And macaroni what? Like macaroni and cheese? No! No, macaroni was a term that was used by the British, and they used it to define a person that was a dandy. And a dandy was a person of middle class. A middle-class person who put on aristocratic airs. So in other words, he would dress really nice, and he would wear a big, big wig, like the Louis XIV. Think of those kind of things. And those kind of wigs, the British were like, and so they called those macaroni. That was the derisive term. So when this song first got written, it was written during the French and Indian War, when colonial troops at the time, went up to aid the British in the invasion of Canada. And the British, in their fine red coats and that, they'd see these ragtag guys marching, and they would say, that these guys, they're not as good looking as us, they're wimps, they're kind of, weak, and they're the type of guys that stick a feather in their cap and they'll call it macaroni. So that's it. And so Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle Dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy. And so that was, again, they were mocking them, but the mockery got embraced by the American troops. And how that happened was during the Revolutionary War. And there was a famous quote after the Battle of Lexington and Concord, where the British troops got fired at. And one of the British guys asked the guy, he said, "Hey, listen, what do you think of that Yankee Doodle Dandy?" And he said, "Well, they made us dance to it so much, and I'm exhausted. I've lost my lust for singing that song anymore." So that's really what happened. It got played at the Battle of Yorktown when they surrendered too. So that's we're going to do this song, right? All right. Can you shake and sing? You can also put it down and dance if you want. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle Dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girl be handy. Father and I went down to town along with Captain Gooding. There we saw men and boys as thick as hasty pudding. keep it up. Yes, you run every mind. The music has a step with the girlie has he. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anya, for being on the show today. You did a great job. You want to say goodbye to your adoring fans out there?
Goodbye.
Can you say Happy 4th of July?
Happy 4th of July.
That's right. There goes Anya McCormack, getting taller and taller as we go by in this beautiful COVID crisis. You are watching the Mr. Marty Show. That ends the kid portion of the show. And I'd like to take this moment to say that you can sign up. I'm still trying to get people to sign up on the emailing list. And I know we have our stalwart fans out there. I see you guys on the chat. So I'm going to make a personal appeal to ask all you guys, if you can, get out there. Get out there and try to get some of your buddies to get on the Mr. Marty Show. Sign up on it, and if you can do that, that would be awesome. Mr. Marty Show 1 at gmail.com. Or you can just contact me through my website, martinmccormack.com. I'd love that, and that would be a big help. And right now, I'd like to bring my buddy Sandeep up, and we're going to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about freedom. Here we go. Let me hand this weird stuff. Oh, I keep switching the mic off. Live action. There you go.
Live action. After 5,000 shows or so.
We're still figuring it out. So I thought what would be kind of fun is I'm giving you some quotes about freedom.
Uh-oh.
And I thought you could read one, and I would read one, and we can talk about it. So go ahead. You start.
Me first? Okay.
Yeah, and I'll play a little music.
This is by George Washington. Let us therefore animate and encourage each other and show the whole world that a free man contending for liberty on his own ground is superior to any slavish mercenary on earth.
That's very nice. Keep reading. You're on a roll.
America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves.
Now, who said that?
That's Abraham Lincoln.
He knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Keep going, man.
Right. We're on a roll here. You will never know how much it costs the present generation to preserve this freedom. I hope you will make good use of it. If you do not, I will repent in heaven that I ever took half the pains to preserve it.
I know who that is.
Take a wild guess.
That's got to be John Adams.
You're the man. You're a true patriot.
I'm going to tell you, that's, John Adams knew a thing or two.
And the final quote, if ye love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom, go home from us in peace. We ask not your counsel or arms. Crouch down and lick the hands that feed you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that ye were our countrymen. Wow. This was by a beer. It's Sam Adams.
Sam Adams again?
Yeah.
You got a great quote over here. Wait.
I think I read all three.
A couple more here. I just want to read that one by Martin Luther King Jr.
This reminds me of high school. Freedom is never voluntarily given by
Yes.
the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed.
Very significant for today, won't you say?
Yes, Martin Luther King.
You got two more there. This sounds good.
Yeah, this keeps going on, but I'll keep going. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thomas Jefferson.
Famous guy.
Yeah, he's got a thing or two.
He's got a thing or two. Yes, he has.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We did pass it to our children in the bloodstream. it must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same.
Now, who said that?
Ronald Reagan.
Wow.
Mixed feelings there.
Mixed feelings, but that's true though about freedom. I have to agree.
You get a great speechwriter.
Yeah, good speechwriter.
I am apt to believe that Independence Day will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. John Adams.
Boy, John Adams again. Well, that was beautiful, Sandy.
This was the high school civics.
That's high school civics. Well, before we do 30 seconds of cute, I want to just ask you, what was it like getting naturalized, right? Were you naturalized as a citizen or what? What is it? I mean, how was
Yes.
that? Yeah. So, what did it feel like?
It was. I don't know.
It felt like that, huh?
Yes, it felt like a liberating experience. I've been in the country for 8 years, and but it was mixed because I took the oath of allegiance to the President Donald Trump's speech. So
Oh, yeah.
not a friend of immigrants.
Right. Not a friend of immigrants, so kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But that's funny you say that because, when my dad, when he was at his funeral, they presented a flag from the President of the United States. And it's funny, you think, I had to stop myself and say, okay, I know this guy's right now the President of the United States, and but the office of the President is something I still kind of hope we can.
You have to respect the presidency.
Right.
Even if you don't like.
Right. It's just kind of where it's at.
Yes.
Or else, what happens then? It kind of. But
deep thoughts.
But deep thoughts, very deep thoughts. Well, we're having a very deep thought show here about freedom, liberty, independence, and what can be more.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Has this crisis made you think about these things a lot more, or have you
Absolutely.
thought about this all this time?
No, I think that one of the silver linings of the whole COVID crisis is that it's allowed a lot of people to stop and take stock of what independence or your liberty really is. Because you don't have the daily distractions of working and things like that. So you start thinking, well, what is it? I want to, being with my family, being with my friends, being able to talk about whatever I feel without recrimination, all those things. And then when you see people that are not getting that, whether they're not getting it when it's like, a simple thing like everybody, let's wear masks, something to take care of. And you're in a society of liberty, and you have, because of freedom, you have the rights of people to disagree with you, but you have to agree with the liberty. So once it's set as law, liberty and law, that's then you have to abide by that. And so that's where the groundswell of people. That's where Thomas Jefferson talked about the tree of liberty needing to be watered with the blood of martyrs. It's a pretty heavy talk, martyrs and that. But what he's talking about is that from time to time we have to sacrifice in order to make to renew the vow of liberty. And that's, I think, the thing is if I could say it in general terms, people are waking up from the complacency that liberty can give you. You can take it for granted. And at least for me, I'll speak for myself. I'm valuing it more and more every day. And I get sad when I see when I see that my fellow countrymen don't have the same liberties, or that I feel sad when I see people in the world like in Hong Kong right now that had it and are losing it. It's bad. Don't take that kid too far away. We're getting ready for 30 seconds of cute. Well, you're watching Very Deep Thoughts on the Mr. Marty Show. Today we're talking about freedom and liberty, my friend Sandeep and I, and we hope that you're enjoying this show. But right now, talk about freedom, talk about liberty, talk about an all-American boy. Let's bring Freeho over answer here for 30 seconds of cute. Let's do it to Yankee Doodle Dandy, Anya. Can you come here and do a little, and we'll bring him over?
Dance or sing?
You can dance. Ba, 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 Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Mind the music and the step time with the girls be handy. What'd you think of that? Yay!
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th of July. Look at that. Look at how just about to beat that belly. So cute. Well, you're watching the Mr. Marty Show, and Mr. Marty Show, there we are. No, take this thing on. We're having a great time, and we're at that point. You talk about liberty, you talk about the American way, Sandy, and there's only, I don't know about you, but the one name that comes to my mind, almost synonymous with it, is Dreamtown.
Is it liberty or is it tyranny?
Give me liberty or give me Dreamtown. That's what we say. And that's, Mark Winkelman came by. He came by the other day. And, we're trying to get him on the show. Sandeep and I we want to go magnetic fishing with Mark Winkelman. We're going to do this segment. And we're very serious about it. But Dreamtown has been such a wonderful sponsor, and nobody yet has knocked them out of their perch.
Wow.
Nobody has sent in a whopping big check to knock Dreamtown out. Maybe that's because that song is just so good.
I think it's catchy. I think we just play that song every time.
Well, let's see if we can do it without cracking up. Dreaming of a home to buy, hallmark at Dreamtown.
Dreamtown.
You'll search high and low around Chicago until your dreams found.
Dreams found.
No place too large or small. He's a friendly realtor who can do it all. Call Mark Winkelman. Call Mark Winkelman. Call Mark Winkelman at Dreamtown.
Dreamtown.
That's Dreamtown.
Dreamtown.
That's Dreamtown. 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 Statue of Liberty is not for sale.
Bravo.
Call Mark Winkelman today. Be a true patriot. Live action here on the Mr. Marty Show. I hope you guys are having a good time. We have this other camera. We should be bouncing back and forth. But, it's okay. Let's bring out the COVID cocktail. It's time for the COVID cocktail. Whoa.
Live action.
Okay. Here you go. Give that to Uncle Sandeep, and I'll take that. Thank you, lovely hostess.
Thank you.
All right. Whoa. Here we have a beautiful COVID cocktail, folks. It's looking very patriotic. I see a little bit of red,
Watermelon.
and white and blue, kind of. Let's take a sip. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Independence Day, my fellow American.
Definitely watermelon.
Watermelon.
Mint. A dash
Is
of
there
mint.
mint? Is there mint in there?
Basil.
What is, there's no liquor in here, is there?
think that there is.
This is free.
Is this free? Is this when you're? Is this is the cabinet? Are we out?
No,
are we out of liquor?
no. It's deceptively smooth.
Okay. What is it?
It's watermelon, basil, lemon juice, Aperol, and Vino Verde.
Now, what is Aperol?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a sweet, bitter, red-colored, not even a liqueur. I guess it's sort of like a liqueur. It's like a sweeter Campari.
You know, I'm just going to make a special appeal to Michelle Shubatowski, who I know is out there. Will you keep after Annie to get all the recipes? All right, Michelle? I know you can do it. I can't do it because I'm just a husband.
Yes. Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? So, Michelle, you got the power. I know you'll make it happen. Let's have another sip. This is really good.
Cheers again.
Cheers again.
What do we call this one?
What is it?
It is called the A-ham.
The A-ham.
Cryptic.
Cryptic, very...
To our mind, husband brains.
Alexander Hamilton.
Sorry.
Alexander Hamilton, which is coming out on TV. Tomorrow on TV, which is great.
At 3 a.m.
It's not on TV, folks. It's on Disney Plus.
Right.
Marty just dated himself.
Yeah, well, I'm an old, but
it's on the television.
It's on the old television. And it goes down to a little white dot. Well, I'll tell you what. This is my birthday month, and so I get to make those kind of pronouncements. But all right, well, Sandy,
Before we leave, we should talk about our new podcast.
Absolutely. Talk away.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Folks, we have a new podcast. It's called the
Strung Out.
Yes. We'll have a first episode out soon. We'll launch our website.
And we're about to do a second one, and we're going to be diving a little deeper into some of these topics about freedom, independence, and also liberty.
It is not safe for work, so
No.
it's not family listening.
Not family listening, it is because we have the freedom of speech, and our speech might not be that refined.
It never is. But thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. I'll take the microphone right now. What a great fellow American. There he goes. And wasn't that a lovely shirt that he got from his wife? Those little white palm trees on it. We might have to go to a whole clothing section of this show. You're watching the Mr. Marty Show, by the way, and it's kind of amazing. We started this back in May, right? Or was it late April, right? It's been going on, and it's pretty amazing. We've been able to keep this going, and so we're so grateful that you're here tonight. And we're going to move to the next song. Annie, if you can move the sheet there, just so I can look at some of the lyrics. You folks probably don't know this, but these songs, we pick a theme every week, and the challenge for me is to write something and to think about it. And when my brother Tony calls and he says, "What do you got for the show?" usually on Monday, I'll tell him, "I don't know exactly. I'm thinking about something." So when I thought about freedom, I said, it'll come to me. It'll come to me, what I want to write about. So this next song is called Liberty. And again, based on what I'm talking about, liberty is the gift that we give ourselves as a society. You cannot have just one person in liberty. That you can have somebody in freedom, but you can't have somebody in liberty. And you can't have just one person in independence. That just doesn't work that way. So the communal thing of liberty never came more home to me when I was with a bunch of travelers with Switchback, and we were in Italy. And we were in Tuscany. And we were on a coach. We had just spent a beautiful day at a winery and driving around. And we were coming down one of the highways there in Italy. And there I saw it. I saw all these graves, white tombstones.
and floating over it was an American flag. And it struck me first in so many different ways. First of all, what struck me was just, wonderful that there's this American cemetery of war dead here in Italy. And then it also struck me as how sad that all these guys are there that never got to get back home, And then I thought, these guys, could have been my dad. My dad was a tail gunner in World War II. And I always think about that the life expectancy of a tail gunner in battle was 30 seconds. And had my dad seen battle, I probably wouldn't be here. So these guys, and especially when you read A Band of Brothers and you read the book about, going through D-Day, but, these guys, these average Joes of all colors and creeds, really, in this war. It was pretty amazing, that they were able to go and invade like on D-Day. And so that's what the song is about, liberty.
Clouded with doubt.
on the podcast and a little more of the recorded kind of stuff, strung out. And if you want, we'll be putting up information about that. I'll be throwing it out on Facebook, but I'll also send an announcement on the emailing list, the Mr. Marty emailing list that I know Michelle Shubatowski and the Driscolls and all you other folks, the Dyes, they're going to be getting your friends to get on this show. And you know, Drew, up there in Canada, we need a lot more Canadians watching this show. So I want to thank, if you heard a different sound, my father-in-law bought a pickup for the guitar. He also built, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that over there? He built this amp. And just wanted to help improve the sound for the show. So I want to thank Richard DeCourtney, and I hope you approve of the setup. I really like it. And I want to thank my buddy Sandeep once again for just making things happen. Does such a great job. My wife Annie for the COVID cocktail. Sandeep's wife Nadia Minor, and Free Holt, the beautiful little 30 Seconds of Cute, and Anya McCormack, and all the other people that are helping. You folks out there, this is definitely a community. This is an opportunity for all of us to come together during these very strange and difficult times. And I hope you're feeling a sense of community, and I hope you will spread the word. I know I keep talking about that. Please spread the word. I just heard that there's about 12,000 performing arts centers that probably are not going to be able to open, probably indefinitely. They might not survive this crisis. So this might be me for a long time. I don't know. So I really deeply appreciate you taking the time and being in community tonight on the Mr. Marty Show. And just remember, you know, it's a cliche, freedom's not free. Well, freedom is not free, but liberty is even more vital and more important to preserve. And liberty is that consensus that we all cherish each other's freedoms. Once again, we have to take care of, if one of us is not 100% free, we don't have liberty. Simple as that. And so I know a little serious, but thank you so much, and happy 4th of July. Thanks for watching the show. 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 Come on. Thanks for watching the show. Come on here. The Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show.